Giveaway is closed now. But not yet. Okay, guys. The winner of the ultimate key is at Papa. Yo, Papa Krotz, man. GG, clap. If you're here, please type something in the chat so I can DM you. No valid license. It's because it's delayed. He's here. W. Papa Krotz. Vessel of Hatred Ultimate Giga Key Edition. GG, my man. Papa Krotz, there he is. Okay, Whisper. Okay, check your whispers. Congrats, man. Unlucky delay. He's here. Alright, Papa Krotz. Enjoy, my friend. Thank you so much. No problem. Thanks for watching, boys. Amazing stuff. It says 0 on my timer. Can we log in now?
Here with you for the wait. Can you say hi to my daughter, Lottie?
Hi, Lottie. What's up? The wait might be long, but it's gonna be worth it. Get some snacks. Get some drinks. It's launching today. It's still gonna launch today. It's just delayed. Who has a viable...
Allô, allô. Allô, allô. Bon.
Play the national. Or it's this, guys. The cooler Danielle, who's playing? I should post this.
equipment, or materials. This launches for Diablo 4 on Monday, but there's also a new season that will apply, of course, to the people who bought the expansion, but also the people that are playing the base game. So I have a quick little video here for you that's going to give you a guide on everything you need to know about exactly what you need to do. Now, you're going to notice that the Realm Walkers spawn with this little green icon. That's how I know where to go. And you'll notice that the way to turn it in and build reputation is right here in Zimbabwe. So I go over there and I click on the portal and I walk over. Let's skip ahead because I don't want to waste your guys' time. And I find the Realm Walker. See, he's just chilling there and he's burrowed. Where's he at? Okay, I'm standing on him and you have to wait for him to spawn. No problem, just run around, pick some flowers, kill some monsters. He's spawning in 3 minutes. And then what you're going to notice is he's going to emerge and you're going to follow him around and you're going to kill a bunch of his enemies in order to damage him. Pretty self-explanatory. Just kind of follow him around like those good old escort quests in World of Warcraft. Eventually, after a couple of minutes of fighting, you're going to make him mad and he's going to drop a little portal. There's only one thing to do with that. We're going to go in. Now, when you go in here, there's going to have a bunch of little monsters and maybe a few secrets. And when you get to the very end, there's going to be a boss that's going to drop some seething opals. And there is a mechanic here where you can kind of choose your reward, which is a little bit important. So these seething opals are an elixir that you can consume. And it's going to give you certain benefits and it's going to give you more experience. But the critical thing to understand about them is their experience bonuses stack with the other elixirs. Let me pause right here. Do you see how when I go through the portal, I can pick either gold or equipment or materials? This is going to help you determine what kind of rewards you want to get at a given time. If you're just starting out, maybe you want equipment just to start to fill out your codex. You can pick whatever you want, and we're going to go forward. The important thing is these opals, the experience bonus, stacks with the regular elixirs and with the incense. You can run all three. That's why I recommend doing this first before you even start in the campaign, so you can be running those all the time. It's going to level you up faster, which is very much to your advantage because after you get to level 60, there's 300 Paragon levels to grind through. Now, I don't expect everyone to get all 300 Paragon levels, but you're certainly going to get a lot more of them if you always have these buffs active. And so whenever you run out of opals, you can either go check the reputation vendor or you can run another Realm Walker. And then eventually you should have enough just to run these all the time. So let's skip forward to the end here and let's see the boss, wherever it is. Forward we go. We should be about here now. Okay, I found a lovely little treasure room. I love that. Okay, there was nothing good in the treasure. This is my surprised Pikachu face. And then finally you get to the end and what do we have? Oh, we have a lovely chest. Ah, there's no way this is a trap. Oh, wait, it's a trap. Okay, like always. No problem. Kill everything. And then you'll notice in the final rewards, you have those opals. That's what we did them for. So pick up those opals. And then one final thing that I want to show you at the very beginning here is here are the rewards from the guy in Zimbabwe. And here is the final thing where we're going to get something with ancestral legendaries, ancestral uniques, and a vast amount of materials. So going through all of that and helping him is certainly going to be worth it. And that's about it. We talked about going to the Realm Walkers, going through the portal, how to choose your opals, and maxing the rep. Going to the Realm Walkers, no problem. There's no way this is a trap. Oh, wait, it's a trap. Okay. Wherever it is. Forward we go. We should be about here now. Okay, I found a lovely little treasure room. I love that. Okay, there was nothing good in the treasure. This is my surprised Pikachu face. And then finally you get to the end and what do we have? Oh, we have a lovely chest. Ah, there's no way this is a trap. Oh, wait, it's a trap. Okay, like always. No problem. Kill everything. And then you'll notice in the final rewards, you have those opals. That's what we did them for. So pick up those opals. And then one final thing that I want to show you at the very beginning Hi everyone, it's Rax. I have another video for you for the Diablo 4 expansion, and this is going to be the leveling guide. I'm going to break it up in two different sections. One will be if you bought the expansion. That way you actually have a progression for your character and you just don't start out in the hardest difficulty at the beginning. I think for most people, you should start on normal, at least until you get your class mechanic, and then you can try turning it up. Some people said, nah, Rax, I'm going to start on Penitent. I'm just going to send it. All right, but good luck. And then you can skip the base campaign and you can start right away in the campaign of the expansion. So I keep getting questions on this. People ask, Rax, can I start from a Spiritborn at level 1 or do I have to unlock it? You get the Spiritborn immediately. Rax, can I do the campaign just for the expansion and I don't have to do the base expansion again? Yes, you can skip the base expansion and start on the second expansion. It all works in your favor, no problem. Start as a Spiritborn, skip the base campaign, and you're ready to go. If you haven't done the base campaign yet, you will have to do it if you're totally brand new to Diablo 4. So we're going to claim your renown. If you've completed your renown in the base game, you have to claim it right away. You're going to have to redo the renown for the Nahantu, but it's going to help you. Now, the very first thing that I would do is not go do the campaign. The first thing I would do is go do the seasonal quest line. It's not going to take too long. I will have a video out that explains the whole Season 6 thing. But essentially, you have a quest where you have to go into a Realm Walker. You have to fight him. He spawns a portal. You want to complete that portal because it's going to give you opals, these powerful elixirs. They're called opals, and they stack with your other elixirs and your incense. This is going to let you stack an opal, an elixir, and an incense the whole way, leveling up, and it's going to help you reach level 60 faster. Remember, after you reach level 60, you have a little bit of a grind ahead of you. You have 300 Paragon points to grind. Most people won't reach Paragon 300, but those Paragon points are valuable, and they're going to help you do some of the endgame activities. So the faster you chew through those Paragon levels, the better. So you want to be running with these all the time. That's why the first thing you should do, level 1 Spiritborn, hit tab and go do the seasonal quest line first, and then we're going to go do the expansion. So I have more good news for you guys. When I did the expansion, I did some of it on hard, some of it on normal. When I was done with it, I was level 60. I was completely done. So it's not like you have to do the campaign and then go do a million other things, especially if you use the opals, the elixirs, and the incense. If you aren't 60 by the time that you're done, you're at least going to be very, very close. So that will help you. Now, let me give you some tips and tricks when going through the expansion. First thing, we already talked about it 3 times already. Have the opal, the elixir, and the incense always active. I would, again, stay on normal until you get your class mechanic. It's pretty difficult. And they said they're going to make it even more difficult. So we'll see. But play on normal unless you really want a challenge. And then when you get your Spiritborn class mechanic, then you can consider turning it up. You can right away in the campaign, almost immediately, you can go explore Nahantu, and you can go get your codex powers. Now, the most beautiful thing about that is you don't need to know where the dungeon is to go get your power. If you know, for example, oh, I need the poison power that buffs toxic or stinger, let's say stinger. All you have to do is hit tab Y to open the codex thing. Type in the word stinger and you're going to see the aspect. Click on it and it will mark it on your map, even if it's in the fog. Open the tab Y, type in stinger, click on the aspect. It should draw a line to the aspect that you need. You don't need to know where it is in Nahantu. It will point it out for you. So go get your codex powers for your build. That will help you a lot. The moment that you unlock your mercenary quest, go do the mercenary quest. Because you can have a friend that's going with you as long as you're playing solo. A lot of you will be playing solo. So complete those quests. You can do all the different ones to unlock the different mercenaries. I will have a guide on the mercenaries for you. One of the mercenaries' name is Subo, and he has like a map hack ability. He reveals everything on the map. He reveals where all the nodes are. I would strongly advise you, as you're riding around, every ore vein, every flower that you see, pick them up. Because I never had enough flowers to upgrade my potions going through the campaign. And believe me, you're going to want these potions. You're going to want to level them up as fast as you can. If you have him with you from the beginning, and he shows you where every flower is as you're riding by, life's going to be pretty easy. If you ever run out of opals from the season mechanic, whether you did the Realm Walker or got some from the reputation, go back and do a Realm Walker. Stop what you're doing in the campaign and go do a Realm Walker so you can get some more opals to keep those running. At the end of the campaign, there's a bunch of what I call yellow quests that kind of take you through some of the end game activities, like Helltide or like doing the pit. Do these quests. Do them. They're going to help you. They're going to give you a lot of experience. Going to pump up your Paragon levels, and they're going to get you positioned for the end game. The final thing is there is a position in the campaign that has a puzzle. I'm not here to spoil it for you. Just let you know that there is a puzzle somewhere. After the game is launched on the 7th, I will post a video to the solution of the puzzle. If you want to figure it out on yourself, I commend you. Go ahead. If you ain't got no time for that and you just want me to tell you the solution, it'll be in the puzzle. It'll be properly marked. It'll be, say, spoiler, da-da-da-da-da. So that video will be there, and it will be linked in this sheet, which will be in this video below. You don't have to write anything down. Hi, everyone. When you're 15, make sure you have your codex powers. We already talked about that above. And then we're going to go do our class quest, the Spirit. There's already a guide for it on Maxroll for the Spiritborn Spirit Hall, if you need to go do that. This is going to take you all the way to 60s. Now you can pick your endgame build and things. Now, when you're 60, the first thing that I would recommend that you do before you go unlock Torment 1 and go farm all of your juicy stuff is finish the Renown. You do dungeons, strongholds, side quests, and or the Tenets of Akarat. Tenets of Akarat are the statues of Lilith in the expansion. You don't actually have to find any of them if you don't want to. The only thing that finding them does for you is it progresses your Renown. So if you can reach the max level of the Renown without finding a single tenet, you can skip it entirely. It does not give you permanent stats like the Altars of Lilith do. But if you see them when you're riding around, or you want to just use a map and put on some Enya and ride around and click them all, I mean, that's an easy way to get Renown as well. Finish the Renown so you get all the benefits from that. And just doing the campaign and doing the quests that they give you will pretty much already give you nearly 3 levels of the Renown already. So it won't be that long of a grind. Then, the next item up for bid is beating pit level 20. This is extremely important. And you want to do this immediately because when you're playing on Torment 1, you unlock the ability to find any item in the game. You can get any mythic unique, you can get ancestral gear, you can get uniques, whatever you want. The higher Torment tiers above Torment 1 just give you higher odds for getting those items, but they don't give you necessarily better items. So playing on Torment 1 is a critical goal that you want to hit immediately. So the best way to do this is farm whatever your favorite activities are, like Helltide, Nightmare Dungeons, Infernal Hordes, the world bosses, and get all of your gear up to level 750. Then we need to re-roll it, temper it, put the right powers on it. And don't forget about the seasonal vendor in Zimbabwe. He might have really good gear for you as well. And progressing through the season journey, make sure you're claiming all of these rewards as you start to build up your really powerful character. We need to get Pit 20 cleared immediately. It's the #1 priority. Then after that, it's really just progressing through the game. You're going to farm on Torment 1. You're going to farm boss materials. You're going to try to clear higher in the pit. You're going to try to masterwork your gear. Again, do all the different activities, give you different things. We'll go over that in the powering up guide, but all of it is pretty valuable in one way or the other. So just min-max and farm those ancestrals and those uniques. And kind of the real end game goal of Diablo 4 is to clear the Dark Citadel on Torment 4, which is not easy. The Dark Citadel is not free at all. If you clear the Dark Citadel, which is the multiplayer co-op raids, on Torment 4, you get an exclusive armor set, which looks pretty damn good, and you get an exclusive mount, which actually looks really awesome. So I think this is going to be the key thing that most people are going for. Now, if you don't have the expansion, it's a lot of the same of what we've been doing before. We're going to level up in Helltide most of the way. Helltide is now unlocked at the beginning. It's extremely strong with a bunch of the hints for Helltide that we had before. Just like the other way, we are going to start on seasonal and normal and skip the campaign, claim our renown, do the seasonal questline first to use the opals. It's exactly the same. We're going to go get our class mechanic. Sorry, you don't have the Spiritborn if you don't have the expansion. Then my math says about level 48, but I want to be sure that I'm not debating you guys, so I put it at level 50. About level 48 or 50, you can go and do a full clear of all the strongholds in the world, and that should level you all the way to 60, and it should still be the fastest way to level up. Now, when you do these strongholds, I would advise doing them on normal difficulty, again, the lowest difficulty, because the XP all comes at the end. It used to be from the turn-in, but now I think it's coming from the actual first boss kill, I think is what they said. Might be wrong on that, but either way, the XP comes at the end of the stronghold that made the huge chunk. If you do every stronghold based upon the math that they provided from us, based upon my tests and calculations from what it was before, about level 48-ish, if you do every stronghold, will put you at level 60. It should be the fastest way to level up. And then the checklist here is exactly the same, minus the Nahantu Renown. You don't have to do Nahantu Renown because you don't have Nahantu. So you beat level 20 in the pit, and then you start working toward everything else and powering up your character and farming the boss mats and getting ready to power up here. Again, you don't have the Dark Citadel. You don't have the expansion either, so don't even have to clear that on Torment 4. That's it, guys. That's the leveling guide. So it's essentially what it boils down to is always keep an opal active with an elixir and an incense. The difficulties are tough. Like, they're not free. So normal is going to be where most players should start on. Beat the campaign. Get Subo, your mercenary, because he's going to reveal all the flowers and pick them up. Complete your Nahantu Renown. Clear Pit 20 immediately, and then work toward building the strongest character possible so you can clear Torment 4 Dark Citadel and get your godly set and your awesome mount. I'll be playing all the time, and I'll help you guys get there. Thank you. One thing about this campfire summary, I'm not going to go very deep into my opinion on these things because I have play tested it already and I'm embargoed until the 4th, so I don't want to piss anybody off. So I'll just give a very high level overview here. So you can early download the game now. Console, the early download starts on the 5th. There's Twitch drops all month. You can support a streamer if you want. 2 gifted subs give you a mount. 2 more, 4 total give you the armor. The trolley, the candy, you can get weapon skins out of it, and you can win an Xbox if you like candy. I mean, it's better than KFC, I guess, but only marginally. So monster intensity, it now scales over torment instead of campaign. Monster intensity is like monster intelligence, like how viciously they attack you. I have no idea why it only scaled on the campaign difficulties and not the torment difficulties, so I thought this is how it was supposed to work originally, so I guess that's a good change. The damages over the elites is now smoothed out. That's why some of the affixes would just one-shot you out of nowhere, whereas other ones wouldn't do any damage to you. Now it's normalized, so you can actually prepare for what's coming. You can start at Penitent at level 1. I don't think anyone's going to be able to play like that. You're just going to get shit on. Maybe if you have the full codex and you're making an alt and you're super prepared, you could start at Penitent at level 1. But either way, it's cool that they open that up because this could be like really fun, like hardcore competitions later. For non-ancestrals, they buff them because the ancestrals were just way better. So to actually give you some power at the start, you can now masterwork it up to 8. You get double the tempers. and now when uniques drop, they have triple the chance to be ancestral. The Scroll of Tempering is now going to drop in the Season Journey, and you also get it from the raids, I believe. So they had this big screen cap where they show the difficulty tiers. So on the PTR, Torment 1 is now dropped. I assume this means dropped to Penitent, so everything just got essentially dropped down 1 to get people into the game a little bit further. So this is all talking about essentially the stat squish. So they tried to do a stat squish on the PTR, and then people were still hitting for like billions of damage, and it's like these are still like meaningless numbers. Well, now they actually really did squish it now, and they reduced it tremendously. So we'll see how it actually plays out. But the idea is for you to be hitting for like thousands instead of billions. Torment 1 will drop you everything in the game. The tiers beyond it only increase the odds of it dropping, but if you only get to T1, which should be accessible pretty much everybody except the most uber casual people, could potentially get anything in the game. They fixed some of the Paragon nodes. They made some of the rare and the magic nodes more powerful. This was a huge problem with the original Paragon system. All you would do is just stack as many glyphs and as many of the legendary nodes as you can. The rare and the magic nodes were afterthoughts, and a lot of them were, again, riddled with damage on Tuesday garbage that nobody wanted, and they got rid of that. The Infernal Hordes. This one kind of surprised me, and I would say maybe it disappointed me a little bit. So they fixed a lot of the rewards, and now they made it easier to target farm the uniques, and they make it easier for you to click the materials thing instead of clicking it 1,000 times. But I have said this since day one of the Infernal Hordes, and on the updates, and on the season launch, and I still think it's a problem, and they didn't talk about it. I think the worst part about the Infernal Hordes are the boons and the banes. The boons that you get that make you feel stronger, they really don't make that much of a difference except for Hellborn invigorates you. And a lot of the boons that you really want are really just only reward based. This gives more Aether. This gives +2 Aether. This gives 3x Aether or whatever. Instead of actually manipulating the Infernal Horde gameplay itself. I think that's the biggest problem with it. I was very sad to see the update where they didn't update that. I hope we see that in the future. They have said on a previous campfire that they agreed and they thought that that was a problem. So they increased miscellaneous rewards in other places. Ancestral drop rates are increased in a lot of the game. The Nightmare Dungeons now give you experience on completion. This is something that I wrote to Blizzard about the early game Hellborns. You kill a goblin at level 15. He doesn't give you anything. A lot of these things just drop you garbage loot. Looks like they buffed all of them. They nerfed the Stronghold XP from 2 to 1.5, 2 levels to 1.25. I guess it's fine. I guess Strongholds will still be good, but I'm actually really surprised that they did this because this version of XP farming was a lot more fun than pretty much any of the other metas. And almost not everybody doesn't ever agree on anything, but it was one of the things that was almost universally agreed upon that this was more fun than the other crap we were doing, like chain clearing the dopamine tunnels. I'm actually very surprised that they did this. It'll still be good, but I would not have done this if I was Blizzard, to be honest with you. This is actually very interesting. So in Torment 1, I believe this is Torment 1, non-legendaries are auto-salvaged. But I remember when they redid items a few seasons ago, we asked them. I know I specifically asked them, and I think other people asked them too. Why don't you have them auto-salvage now with your Loot Reborn season? And they said, we have a plan to make yellow items good, or blue items good, potentially with crafting. Now, they're just auto-salvaging it. So, does that mean that they've abandoned that idea, and now they are just useless. To me, this is kind of what that means. Unless they're only having it auto-salvaging now until they implement it, but that almost seems like a step backward. I have no idea. So if you have no plans for yellows, I like this change, but this is not the message that we originally got. Paragon glyphs now drop in the pit, but they never dropped in the Infernal Hordes, so I don't know if they're going to add it there. Mythic Unique crafting, you can trade 2 sparks for a random one, or 2 sparks plus a bunch of runes for the one that you want. So that could be cool, especially for people that don't have a lot of time to play and can't get the one that they want. You can trade large amounts of salvage for random legendaries. Sockets for regular gear now just cost basic materials. You only need scattered prisms for ancestrals. So the most powerful items in the game. We'll have to read the entire patch notes through, but in general, they buffed barbs because they thought they were behind. I agree with that. They buffed druids, but they nerfed one of their really powerful interactions that was just way too strong. I think it was that lightning storm, that chain landslide lightning storm build thing. But they should have a buff to companions, which a lot of people will be happy about. They really buffed minions, and things like Ring of Men Down that wasn't scaling properly should. So Minion Necro went from like greatest build ever in Season 4 to almost completely obsolete in Season 5. So hopefully this is coming back. This is probably the thing that made me the most sad. Like, I'm not saying that it maybe didn't need to happen, but Victimize got nerfed. So this means like the Goblin Blaster 9000 or the Brain Dead build got nerfed, which is one of my favorite builds of all time. So they said it would still be competitive. We'll see. But this hurts. They nerfed Sorcerer Enlightenment, which I believe is a new key passive. If I have that right. But they didn't mention anything about specifically nerfing Lightning Spear. They already made some changes, but they didn't say anything further about nerfing Lightning Spear. And Lightning Spear was still on the PTR, was still like the greatest build ever. Okay, so people are saying that they did nerf it in the patch notes. Okay, so maybe Lightning Spear is gone as well. So these were like the 2 greatest builds, and now maybe both of them are potentially gone. Rune word balancing. I mean, everything that you would think here, every logical thing that you would think here happened. They nerfed Warcry. It was way too strong. They moved the Petrify multiplicative damage to the upgrade of Petrify. That way, if Barbs spec into Warcry and Druids spec into Petrify, you can actually get the really powerful version, but other classes won't get as good of a version as before. Then some of the things like the Meteorites and the Wolves have had massive damage increase
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be faded, to telling only lies. But they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours only lonely. My love is been afraid. No one bites back as hard. Their anger, none of my pain, whoa, can show these feelings like I do, and I blame you.
Based on player feedback, and with the launch of Vessel of Hatred on October 8th, we're making big changes to existing systems in the game. We want the player's journey to feel meaningful and for players to understand exactly where they are in the game in terms of power. I have help today from Adam Fletcher, who's the Associate Director of Community for Diablo, and Aislinn Hall, who's a systems designer here on the team. Welcome. Aislinn will be answering some questions we picked out from social media, so thank you, community, for submitting these questions. Let's jump right into it. World tiers are gone. So now while leveling up your character, you'll have 4 difficulty choices to choose from: normal, hard, expert, and penitent. As you go up in difficulty, you'll gain more experience points and gold find. So now you can customize your leveling journey how you want. Maybe you find a kick-ass item and want to push your character a little bit harder. Well, now you can. Also, from levels 1 to 15 on any difficulty, we replaced the material drops you would have received with items, like armor and weapons. In addition, the Butcher and Treasure Goblins will drop a guaranteed legendary at any level, so chase away, or run away if it's an early game Butcher. Existing characters are being set to level 50, but the new max character level is 60. With this, players are gaining 10 more skill points, opening up even more build possibilities. And you're able to put points into ultimate abilities now, giving them an even greater impact. We'll talk about Paragon later on in this video, but also at level 60, the pit opens up, and pit progression is how you're going to unlock the endgame difficulties. We're calling them Torments 1, 2, 3, and 4. To unlock Torment 1 difficulty, you'll need to clear a pit level of 20, either solo or in a group. For Torment 2, it's pit tier 35. For 3, it's pit tier 50, and for Torment 4, it's level 65. The pit itself has been rebalanced. For example, this version of tier 65 is more challenging than before, but its rewards are punchier. Also, we have what we think is a nice quality of life change. So the pit puts a lot of emphasis on getting to the end and completing it before the timer runs out. So we're moving glyph leveling from Nightmare Dungeons to the pit. We feel that these playstyles are more in line with each other, and in Nightmare Dungeons, players sometimes feel punished for exploring around, so we're moving masterworking materials from the pit to Nightmare Dungeons. So now you won't feel bad for taking a wrong turn or exploring a bit, since you'll be gaining masterworking materials either way.
Previously, when you were going through the pit, you'd get all your masterworking materials at the end. But now in Nightmare Dungeons, you're gonna be able to go and, like Ruben said, kill all these monsters, explore all these little nooks and crannies, and you're gonna get masterworking materials from all those different places, which really fits with the Nightmare Dungeon playstyle.
Before I get into the glyph leveling, I wanted to mention that Ancestral and Mythic Uniques start dropping in Torment 1. They will always have at least one greater affix and always drop at the maximum item level, which is now 800. Non-ancestral items cap out at 750. So on Glyph XP, we're removing it. Now you upgrade your glyphs with attempts. Here's how you gain attempts and level up your glyphs. You gain 3 attempts from successfully completing a pit level, and you gain 1 bonus attempt when you don't die during the run. So 4 possible chances. To help you catch lower level glyphs up, every 20 level difference between the completed pit tier and glyph rank grants a bonus upgrade per attempt. We'll put a link to our blog in the description down below if anyone is interested in more detail, but that's essentially how the upgrade system works. On the topic of glyphs, the levels are being bonus upgrade per attempt. Here, and glyph rank grants a bonus upgrade per attempt. We'll put a link to our blog in the description down below. Difference between the completed pit tier and glyph rank grants a bonus upgrade per attempt. We'll put a link to our blog in the description down below if anyone is interested in more detail, but that's essentially how the upgrade system works. On the topic of glyphs, the levels are being increased from 21 to 100. At level 45, a rare glyph can be upgraded to a legendary glyph, which increases the radius from 4 to 5 and gives the glyph 1 additional affix. Okay, time for Paragon boards. Each class is getting 1 completely new Paragon board. These boards each have a new legendary node to help support more builds and playstyles. With legendary glyphs and new powers coming in, we've decided to reduce the amount of Paragon boards you can use to 5, including the starter board, which helps to make your choices more important and helps your build come online faster, since you won't have to link so many things together for it to function. Paragon levels are also being increased from 200 to 300, but players will all get the build defining parts of Paragon at around 200. So from there, it's about getting rare and magic nodes, which are much more incremental in power, so you don't have to feel bad if you're not hitting Paragon 300. Basically, players can get what they absolutely need first for their build, then grab other nodes they might find useful. With so many Paragon levels to earn, they now apply realm-wide, so this level is now shared across characters within respective standard and hardcore partitions once your character hits max level. For example, a new season starts up and you make a seasonal character. After reaching level 60, you will start earning Paragon levels. Let's say you eventually make it to Paragon level 200. Now when you make an additional seasonal character within the season, you'll be able to tap into your current seasonal Paragon level of 200 once that character hits max level. Seasonal Realm Paragon resets every season. However, all the earned Paragon XP will be added to your current Eternal Realm Paragon when the season ends.
That was great, Adam. Thank you for the rundown. One extra thing I want to chime in with is that those additional 100 Paragon points are intended to be icing on the cake for your build. The first 200 points are intended for your character to become well-defined, and then the extra 100 is just a bit of extra fun you can have in the world of Sanctuary.
Aislinn, let's pick your brain a little bit more. We have some community questions from that social post I mentioned earlier, so let's get into it. Kang Jiang asks, what are our plans for visual clarity during dungeons or any activity really?
So we know we get a lot of feedback on red and Helltides, and so something that you might notice in the Helltides is that we've adjusted the lighting. This is something that we want to improve on in all activities in the game, so you'll see more improvements in the future.
Dallas says, what's the plan for masterworking materials and Stygian stones come Season 6? Should players use or convert these before then?
Players won't need to worry about converting these before Season 6. In Season 6, we're going to have systems in place that allow you to convert your masterworking materials into the new masterworking material that you'll need to upgrade your gear. Additionally, in Season 6, Stygian stones won't be needed to summon tormented bosses anymore, but because of that, we're going to be increasing the sell price of them so that you can get a hefty amount of moolah.
8-Bit Bandit asks, how will torment bosses be affected with the new world difficulty update?
In Season 6, tormented bosses are going to be available on all 4 torment tiers. That means that they're going to drop really good loot starting in Torment 1, and then drop even more of that in Torment 4. It also means that no matter how powerful your build is, you're going to have a hard version of that boss to fight.
Flower asks, since torment difficulty tiers drastically change resistance penalties, and with the introduction of grand gems, will there be any changes or scaling to gem fragment drops as difficulty increases?
There absolutely will. So in higher torment tiers, you are going to be earning more gem fragments, which is going to allow you to reach the new grand tier a lot faster. So buff up your build so that you can get to the higher gem tiers as quick as you can.
James Cossins asks, when the expansion comes out on October 8th, will I be able to create a Spiritborn, go through the whole main quest line with Lilith, and then progress through Vessel of Hatred?
Absolutely. So we want you to be able to experience any element of the game's story on any character, and the Spiritborn is no exception. If you'd like to start a new Spiritborn, play through the original campaign, and then go through Vessel of Hatred, you're totally within your rights to do that.
Thanks again, Aislinn, for answering all these wonderful questions. That's going to be all for us today. We really appreciate you watching, and we're excited for the launch of Vessel of Hatred.
There will be additional links to our blogs in the description below. We'll see everyone in Nahantu.
Yes. Serveur se donne. So longue.
Ready? And 3, 2, 1, action! And ready, and both. Good, cut.
To feel these feelings like I do.
Where does the story take place of the trailer? We are following Neyrelle, which is a sort of a character from the main game of Diablo 4, who is trying to stop hatred from coming to the world of Sanctuary. And in order to do that, she has to sort of capture the Lord of Hatred, Mephisto, inside of a soul stone to try to imprison him forever. And the game ends with her on that quest, but you never really see where that goes. And so where we pick up with Neyrelle in her canoe is with Mephisto trying to corrupt her as she seeks a place to imprison him.
3, 2, 1, camera.
Diablo 4 is just one of the coolest brands. It's dark, it's provocative. We wanted to make sure that Diablo 4's first expansion got the attention it deserved. And that's where this live action film came into play. This live action portrays so much that's coming to Vessel of Hatred. We're seeing our new class of Spiritborn just jump into the fray, unleashing the Spirit Guardians and just being total badasses.
We're introducing a new place to the world of Diablo and Sanctuary called Nahantu. Now, it's existed there before as sort of the southern part of the eastern continent, but we haven't been there yet, at least in Diablo 4.
And that new region is filled with lush, dense jungles. The one that we chose was actually deep in the jungles of Thailand. I think the biggest challenge with just bringing to life any fantasy world into live action is staying true to the core essence of that fantasy world.
That really led into how we decide who our director's going to be and who the crew's going to be.
3, 2, 1, action!
So you need a director who can both have an emotional story and be able to go dark, but also have the ability to understand what it takes to film action and a lot of visual effects.
Cut, got him. Cut!
Enter John Watts.
The Jaguar is going to be an empty plate.
Yeah.
So you can make this be whatever you want. You could put that there behind him or whatever. So if he does the move there, summons the Jaguar, then you have the swirl here. That's great.
The Blizzard team had already built the world. Like, they already had such a rich, detailed world that they had created. My job was to execute it and a way to bring the creations that they had already developed to life. It was a chance for me to really get all the shots just right and really get involved with the VFX and making sure all the practical effects and the fight choreography all was in sync. I love that part of the job, so to be able to do it in such a hands-on way was like very satisfying for me.
Working with John has been incredible. He's a fan of Diablo, which just made the connection really natural. He understood the game and where we want to take the brand with this piece.
When you see from the Spider-Man films the ability to direct action, to deal with visual effects, and then also just his body of work and that he's a storyteller, that we knew that he could go to this darker place to film that, the Neyrelle Mephisto interaction. And then of course it's just like who he has with him.
All right, guys, rehearsal's up. A little more smoke on the set, please.
The caliber of talent that we had for this live action film was just incredible. Prim, who plays Neyrelle, she has such dynamic range that she brought to the table.
It was definitely hard to get the performance to be on point, and the intensity of the emotion was going to be super powerful. But I think, like, in the end, we got it.
His stunt coordinator is phenomenal. The way that they were able to coordinate all the martial arts actions, like Jackson was a stunt double for Captain America and Black Panther, and so we were able to get really cool, authentic looking action in a really dynamic way.
On action, she's gonna hit the ground, she kicks it around, comes and stabs the ground, and then like the centipede comes up.
What we really focused on when we started rehearsals was bow staff training. Our goal was to kind of make each character's style similar to their animal style.
And then the costume designer was phenomenal. John brought his whole Hollywood crew to Thailand with him, and you can really see the results in the piece.
We're not done shooting, we still have one more shot.
No one knows what it's like.
Music was just a cornerstone of this piece.
Be the bad man.
We looked at different things in terms of what would be authentic to the piece, and we really felt like what we wanted was classic and timeless. And that's where we landed up behind Blue Eyes.
Behind blue eyes.
songs. We wanted to make sure that we brought in the right vocals and the right artists that could really hit more of that haunting range for us. And Camila just nailed that. She really understood what we were trying to achieve, and she was able to hit that tone that felt so right for this piece.
Part of the reason I was so excited about collaborating with Diablo was because the lyrics of the song really spoke to me, and Diablo being a dark fantasy game, that theme of good and evil and trying to protect and preserve the good in yourself, in humanity, it's just like an eternal theme.
My love is vengeance. It's never free.
Diablo is all about fulfilling your power fantasy. The reason you play Diablo is because you want to be that barbarian, you want to be that sorcerer, you want to be that thing that goes off and destroys demons and sends them back to hell. And so here you get to see a new type of power fantasy, the Spiritborn.
We've got a new...
Diablo 4. Putain, c'est long.